And we are continuing.
1 minute, Mataji.
1 minute, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Now it's live and you can take over.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We are continuing our series of the Valmiki Ramayana, and now we are in Ayodhya Kanda. So we'll get started with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We'll also offer prayers to Valmiki, Hanuman and Lord Ramachandra. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavitavanacharinaha Shrinvan Ramakathanadam Ponayate Param Gatim Vedavedye Parepumse Jate Dasharatatmaje Veda Pracheta Dasi Sakshat Ramayana Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapisham Akshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Bhaktimatam Varishtam Vadhatmajam Vanarayodhamukyam Sri Ramadotam Shirasa Namami Anjaneya Madipatanalanam Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vikraham Parijata Tarumula Vasinam Bhamayami Pavamanandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritam Asthakanjalim Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Jayatrashrata Santrasa Dvantva Vidvamsanodhayaha Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhaskaraha Shri Rama Rameti Rame Manorame Sasranama Tattulyam Shri Rama Varane. Quick recap. This is going to be a very, very quick recap of what we have covered so far in Ayodhya Kanda. Ayodhya Kanda begins with a very famous verse, Gacchata Matulakulam Bharatena Tadanaga, which describes the glory and character of Shatrugna. Shatrugna was taken along with Bharata to his maternal uncle's house. When he was taken away, Lord Ramachandra stayed back in the kingdom of Ayodhya, and he grew up to be a fine prince, and everybody loved Lord Ram. Looking at his glorious qualities, Dasharath Maharaj wanted to make him the crown prince. And he expressed his desire to the people in Ayodhya, and all the people in Ayodhya immediately applauded, and they all said, "Oh, why didn't you do this much earlier? We all were waiting to see Lord Ram as our prince." It was the month of Chaitra, which is around April, and it was also the birthday of Lord Ram, and they wanted to crown him on the Pushya Nakshatra. So Dasharath called for Ram, and he glorified Ram's, he didn't glorify, he just said that the kingdom wants to have you as the crown prince, but you should keep away from the bad habits of a king. And he instructs Ramachandra to enter a vow since he would be crowned the very next day. Meanwhile, Lord Ramachandra, he goes and he gets blessings of his mother Kausalya, and along with Sita, Ramachandra and Sita, they enter a vow and they sleep on Kusha grass and worship the Ranganath deity. The city of Ayodhya was very, very beautifully decorated. The next day morning, But on the previous day itself, on the previous day evening itself, Manthara, who's the housemaid of Kaikeyi, went up to the balcony and she saw that the entire city was getting decorated very beautifully. So Mantra, she goes and she calls out to Kaikeyi. She says, Uttishta Mode, hey fool, why are you still sleeping? Just get up and listen to what I have to tell you. Ram is going to be crowned as the prince. Hearing this, initially Kaikeyi was very, very happy, but then eventually her mind got poisoned and she was influenced by Manthara to ask for two boons. The two boons are, by one boon, Bharat should be crowned as the prince, and by the other boon, Ram should be sent to the forest for 14 years. Kaikeyi's mind was successfully poisoned, and Manthara asked her to go to the Kopagraha, where she can go and lie down and somehow or the other make a show and influence Dasharath and tell Dasharath that she wants two boons. So Kaikeyi successfully asks for the boons from Dasharath Maharaj, and Dasharath laments. He laments the entire night and the night ends. And then next day morning, Kaikeyi tells Sumantra to bring Ram to the palace because Ram had to be informed about this. So Mantra, he goes and he brings Ram, and Ram, he comes to his father's palace. So while he's walking to his father's palace, all the citizens are trying to catch a glimpse of Lord Ram. Then Ram goes inside the chambers where his father and mother are seated, and there Kaikeyi speaks about these two boons. She says, your father is hesitating to tell you this, but then he had given me a promise, and I came to ask for those two promises. By one of it, you should go to the forest and live in Dandakaranya for 14 years, and my son Bharat will be crowned as the prince with all the ingredients that were collected for your coronation ceremony. And hearing this, Ramachandra's reaction is pretty neutral. He just says one thing, I really wish father had told this directly to me. He didn't have to hesitate to tell this to me. But then Kaikeyi, she was like, it's high time you leave. And she was literally asking Ramachandra to leave immediately, though Ramachandra offered that he could stay back and he could himself with his lotus hands crown his brother Bharat. Still, Kaikeyi was very, very apprehensive. She said, no, you please leave immediately. But then he took permission from Mother Kaikeyi that he wanted to inform two people. Who are the two people? One is Mother Kausalya and the other is his dear wife, Sita Devi. So Ramachandra, he goes to the chambers of Kausalya to tell her that he would be leaving to the Dandakaranya forest. Hearing this, Kausalya swoons, and then she also tells that she would accompany Rama to the forest. But then after all this, Ramachandra forbids her. He tells her that she should actually be staying with her husband. That is the right dharma for her. Lakshmana explodes. He's very, very angry. And he tells, I will go and have a fight with father, and I will ensure that you sit on the throne, and you should actually grab the throne of Ayodhya, and it belongs only to you. So while he is exploding like that, Kausalya continues to support Lakshman, and she says, oh, Rama, if you have to go to the forest, then I will also come with you. But then Rama tries to explain both to his mother and his brother that this is not possible and he would be going to the forest, and mother has to stay back with the father. So Lakshmana is still angry, of course, because Ramachandra, he blames destiny. He says, what can we do? It's all destiny. And Ramachandra is like, what destiny are you talking about? The fault makers are right here. They are the ones who have done the fault. So we have to blame them. Why are you blaming destiny? But then eventually Kausalya, she understands Ram's point of view and she blesses him. And we saw the set of blessings that he receives. And she also ties an amulet on the hands of Ramachandra so that Ramachandra can get protection in the forest. Then Ram proceeds to the chambers of Mother Sita, where he is trying to break this news to her. Immediately, Sita, when she sees the beautiful face of Lord Ram somewhat withered, not that it was not withered because he is not getting the kingdom, it was rather withered because he was wondering, how am I going to tell this to Sita? So Sita could make out something was wrong. And when she heard this, she said, okay, no problem. I will also come with you to the forest. And in fact, it was already predicted that I would be living for many years in the forest in the past. So I will definitely come with you. But then Ramachandra gives so many reasons why Sita should not come. He explains in various ways that forest is a place of misery and a princess shouldn't be in the forest. But then Sita pleads and she says, I will walk in front of you, trampling all the thorns. Why do you worry? And when you are with me, with your mighty arms, you will protect me. So, where is the question of me being attacked by animals or poisonous creatures and so on? So, she tried to explain in various ways, but then Ram wouldn't listen. So finally, she used the ultimate weapon where she said, Kim tvamanyatya vaideha pitame mithiladipah Rama jamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. So she said that, and it was actually quite a shock for Ram. But she actually was telling these words so that Ram would take her with him. So she called Ram a woman dressed as a man. And Ramachandra was thinking, okay, how do I handle this lady with me? But eventually, she explained that actually, only if you are there with me, that is happiness to me. Wherever you are, I will come with you. In fact, if you don't take me, I will drink poison and I will die. So when Ramachandra heard all of this, he decided, okay, I should be taking her. And he tells her, actually, I was thinking whether I should take you or not. But then now that you're so insistent, I can understand your heart. So you can come with me. So he tells Sita Devi, give away all the valuable gifts to the Brahmanas and the food to the mendicants. Be very quick, do not delay. We have to leave immediately. Right then, when they were about to leave, in the presence of Sita, there is one person who comes and catches the feet of Rama and says, I will come with you. And that person is Lakshmana. Sabhratru Charanau Gadyam Nipidya Raghunandana. So he went and he held on to those two lotus feet very, very tightly in the presence of Sita, and he did a Sharanagati. He said, I will come with you. So at that time, Lord Ramachandra, he immediately said yes, because Lakshmana said, I want to come for service. So service is never denied, right? When you want to do devotional service, nobody denies devotional service. The Lord is very, very pleased. The Lord always says yes. And that too, he said he wants to serve the divine couple. So immediately Lakshmana's desire was granted and Lakshmana was promised to be taken along. At that time, Lord Ramachandra, he tells Lakshmana, now you go and give donations and ensure all our property is divided nicely. Property meaning all the riches. So before you go to a yatra, you do yatra dhan, okay, meaning you donate before going to a yatra. It's a tradition. So now they are going to the forest. They are going to a yatra to be in the forest. So they had to get rid of all the riches that they had that they would be enjoying for 14 years. Now that they are in the forest, they will not be enjoying those riches for 14 years. So that had to be given away in donation. So he calls Lakshmana and he tells Lakshmana to call Suyagnya. Suyagnya was the son of Vasishta. And he ask him to come. We will start giving donations, beginning with Suyagnya. So having heard that, Lakshmana, that's where we're starting today's class. So Lakshmana, he went to the ashram of Suyagnya and he fetched Suyagnya. And Ramachandra, he gave away all his jewels to Suyagnya. Sita Devi also gave many of her jewels to Suyagnya's wife. And they had a beautiful jewel-studded couch in their palace, and they gave that away to Suyagnya. Not only did they give the couch to Suyagnya, they also had a very, very important, actually, he's an important elephant. His name is Shatrunjaya. That is the name of Ramachandra's elephant, Shatrunjaya. If you remember in one of our previous sessions, the citizens of Ayodhya were telling Dasharath Maharaj, it has been our long desire to see Lord Rama go around the capital city on the Shatrunjaya elephant protected by the umbrella. So there's a very beautiful verse where their citizens express their desire. So it's the same Shatrunjaya elephant that he gives away in donation to Suyagnya. Not only did he give the Shatrunjaya, he also gave hundreds of other elephants along with Shatrunjaya. Shatrunjaya was very famous in that time and age, and he was a gift. Shatrunjaya was a gift given by Kausalya's brother during the marriage. So this brother comes from his maternal uncle's house. So he was also very dear to Shatrunjaya. Shatrunjaya was also very dear to him. But still, he had to part with the elephant. And then he also called on Agastya and Kaushika sages, and he worshipped them with valuable gifts, just like how water is poured on a crop of corn. So if you're growing crops, those who are from the village side, when you grow crops, there is a tradition of regularly watering them. So showers of water are poured on crops, right? So like that, there was a shower of riches that was given to the Brahmanas like Agastya and Kaushika. There were also other Yajur Brahmins of the Taittiriya school of studies, and they were satisfied very nicely with silken clothing, gifts, conveyances, servant maids, and so on. Besides Sumantra, there was another charioteer for Dasharath. His name was Chitraratha. So Ramachandra, he has Lakshman to actually bring Chitraratha, and he gave many gifts to Chitraratha. Not only did he give gifts, he gave clothes, he gave money, he gave small animals and thousands of cows as donation to Chitraratha. And there were many religious sages who were carrying dandas, and they belonged to the Katha and Kalapa branches of the Yajurveda. So he gave all of them 80 cart loads of jewels, 1,000 bullocks, 200 oxes, and he gave 1,000 cows for their nourishment. So like this, he gave away several cows and bulls and oxen for as donation. And there were also many celibates like brahmacharis who would wear a cloth around their head, and they would stand near Kausalya Devi, the queen, and as guards. So Lord Ramachandra, he gave 1,000 cows each for all these different celebrates. Then, this is an interesting story, the story of Trijata. Now, you all must be wondering, where did Trijata come in Ayodhya Kanda? Shouldn't she be coming in Sundara Kanda, where she was one of the demonesses in Lanka? That could be a question. But this is not Trijata, which is Trilinga. This is Trijata. It is Pullinga, meaning it is a man. Okay. So there was a Brahmin by the name Trijata, and he was a very very poor man. He came in the lineage of the Garga community. He was a Gargya Brahmin, and he had a skin that was reddish brown in color. And his job was, though he was a Brahmin, he would go out to the forest and he would dig the soil, and he would just catch hold of some roots and fruits, and he just survived on that. So he was always seen with an axe, a spade, and a plow. Though he was not technically a Vaishya doing agricultural work, still to make a living, to get some food, that is all he had. He would go to the forest and collect wild roots. So he was extremely poor that his cloth was not even enough to cover him up properly. So one day, requested by his wife that particular day, his wife told him that, see, we are extremely poor and Ram is giving away donations before he's going to the yatra, and all the brahmanas are being nicely respected by him. So he says, we have too many children and we don't have money at all, and all our children are famished. They are very poor, very similar to Sudhama's story. So she tells Trijata, why don't you go and request for a few cows, or just request for something so that we can make a living and we can feed our children. So Trijata agreed, and he went to the place where Ramachandra was giving donations to the Brahmanas. And he went and he stood in front of Rama, and he said, oh Rama, I'm a very poor Brahmana. I don't even have clothes to cover myself properly. I would like to receive something so that I can go and feed my children. So at that time, Ram looked at Trijata Trijata had this occupation of holding an axe and holding a staff. And because, he would go and dig up. Apparently, it appeared that he was strong in one sense, though he was completely famished. Though he didn't eat well, still it appeared that he was used to physical labor. So Ramachandra very jokingly he said, "Oh, nice! You are a very nice Brahmana. I have actually given 1,000 cows so far. So just 1,000. I have so many cows, which means I'm not even given a quarter of my cows away as donation. If you please me in a particular way, I will give you as many cows as you want. So I want to take you to task. What you need to do is you have the staff with all your power, you throw the staff as far as you can. So the land that is covered, the distance the staff takes to cover a particular length of land, that entire land of cows I will give you as a gift. Okay. So Trijata, when he was challenged like this, if you throw the staff and it goes, say so many feet away, that entire feet filled with cows, I will give you that many cows as donation. Okay. So when Ramachandra challenged Trijata like this, he tied up his waist cloth and he took position and he threw his danda, his staff, and it went flying away from his hand and it crossed the Sarayu river, and that staff fell close to a bull amidst a flock of cows. So, and thousands and thousands of cows were there, actually, where Trijata's staff had landed. And Ramachandra was so delighted. He embraces this poor Brahmana, very similar to Krishna. He goes and embraces Sudama, right? Like that. Rama, he immediately embraces this Trijata with so much love, and he tells him, please don't mistake me. Don't think that I'm giving tasks to a Brahmana. I'm ridiculing you or something like that. I just wanted to see your strength. It appears that you're a strong person, though you're so famished. I just wanted to see how strong you are. And just for fun, I did that. Please don't mistake me. It's not that I want to give you only so many cows. Maybe there are about 1,000 cows, but that is not the limit. You're a Brahmana. You can ask for whatever you want. I will give you everything else also, not just cows. Tell me what you want. So Trijata very smilingly he says, "Oh Rama, that is more than enough for me. That is more than enough. I'm very, very happy with so many cows. I don't need anything more. You have given me more than what I can handle." So he takes all the cows and Trijata goes away. So like this, so many more donations were given, and he called all the poor people, and with the hand of Sita, he ensured that everybody was given donations appropriately. So now they wanted to move forward after all the donations was over. They wanted to go and tell King Dasharath that they are going to go to the forest. Why did Ramchandra have to go back to Dasharath's palace at this time? The reason Rama had to go to Dasharath's palace again is because he had to tell Dasharath that Sita and Lakshmana are now accompanying him. So he had to take permission for Sita and Lakshman, because these two, they were very insistent that they would go with Lord Rama. But Dashrath still didn't know this news. So Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, all of them, they proceeded towards Dasharath's palace. So while they were walking towards Dasharath palace, at that time, again, all the people, they gathered in the courtyards, and they were feeling so pained. It was very similar to how some aquatic beings are affected in summer because of depletion of water. Sometimes you see, right, when the rivers dry up, some aquatic animals, they don't have any water at all. Some fish, they are suffering. So like that, the people in Ayodhya were suffering like that, because they were thinking, hereafter, we are all going to be like a fish out of water without Lord Rama. So like that, they were looking at Ram with very sad, cast eyes, and they were talking to each other. If Rama goes away to the forest will become a city, and this city will become a forest. So let us all go and live with Ram in the forest, and let Kaikeyi and her relatives be very, very happy in this place, which is devoid of people, animals, and plants. Everybody Nobody is going to be happy here. Everybody, let's all just go away. Let's all just go away with Lord Ram. So, like that, people were talking, and he could hear people talk like this, but still, Ram's mind was not disturbed. He was always tithadir, meaning he was always steady in his mind and heart. He could understand, sometimes if somebody is talking like that in our presence and we are going through a great reversal, automatically we develop self pity. Oh, yeah, see, everybody is acknowledging my problem. And then we also start crying, right? But Ramachandra was not like that. He could understand, yes, people are going to lament, but that should not affect me in any way. So his mind was not at all disturbed, and he goes to the entrance of the palace. And he stands at the entrance, he folds his palms, and he tells Sumantra, I have come here, I would like to meet my father. This is very similar to how just a few just the previous night, Dasharath had asked Sumantra to bring Lord Ramachandra to see him, and Rama walked to the palace. And then he stood in front of the entrance with folded palms, telling Sumantra, please tell father that I have come. So, similarly, at that time, he went to tell father that he is there so that he could hear the news of his crowning. But now the same Ram is going and he's folding his palms in front of the same Sumantra, and he's telling, tell father that I have come again, but this time not to be crowned, this time to go to the forest. And then when Dashrath heard that his son had come to the door, Dashrath immediately got up and he ran towards the door, looking at his son. He was like an eclipse sun. He was like an eclipse sun, S-U-N. Okay, looking at his son Ram, he was like an eclipse sun. And he went running to embrace him. And when he was trying to bring him inside, at that time he gave instructions to his assistants that I want all my wives to come here when I see Sita and Sumantra. When I see Sita and Rama leave to the forest. So Sumantra, he brings all the 350 wives. So here is the count and the verse that talks about the number of wives. Anyone wants to read? Sorry, I'm just reading and going on and on. Any raise hands? Anyone wants to read? All right. Yeah, Parima Mataji, Ardha Sapta Shataka.
Yes, Mataji. Ardhasaptashatam taha ta pramadatamalochana kausalyam parichariya arthe shanaihi jammura vrata.
So the translation is encircling Kausalya, 350 women steadfast in their vow of devotion to their husband with their eyes reddened went there slowly. So Dasharath had 350 wives, and all the 350 wives, one second, please. I'm so sorry. This is an emergency. Just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry for that break. So, encircling Kausalya, all the 350 women who were steadfast in their vow to their husband, meaning who were very, very devoted to their husband, they all assembled there and their eyes were all reddened. They went there very slowly because they knew the terrible fact that Lord Ramachandra would be leaving them. So, while all these ladies were standing, the king, he calls Rama, And Ramachandra came forward and he entered with his folded hands. And Dasharath, when he saw his son coming like that, he falls unconscious. And Ramachandra immediately he came forward and he lifted his father as his father was crying and placed him on a couch. So it was a very, very emotional scene when all the mothers were standing and Dasharath was receiving Lord Rama. Lord Ramachandra, he kind of made his father sit down comfortably and he told his father, "My dear father, I'm going to now take leave of you. You are the Lord of all of us. So give me your permission as I leave to the Dandakaranya forest. And not only me, the reason I have come here is that I also want you to give permission to Sita and Lakshman who are coming with me to the forest." He explained to his father that I tried to tell both Sita and Lakshman in so many different ways that forest is not a place for them. But then because of their arguments, I couldn't prevent them from coming with me. So when he tells all this, Dasharath opens his eyes and he says, "Rama, why are you like this? Why are you such a nice child? Why can't you confront with me and take the kingdom? Just give a fight and then take away the kingdom from me. I was just stupefied by the words of this Kaikeyi. And I behaved like this, but now you have the right to have a fight with me and take away this kingdom. Just defeat me and take this kingdom." But then Ram, with very folded palms, he said, "No, father, you must not speak like this. This kingdom is yours, and I must go to the Dandakaranya forest, and Bharata should take over this kingdom." So Kaikeyi kept prompting Dasharath not to continue this drama. And she told Dasharath, "Okay, give blessings and let them go." So then Dasharath, he gave blessings to Rama. He said, "Oh Ram, may all your path be very auspicious and hope you remain fearless from all directions while you are in the forest." And then again, Dasharath with a sigh, he said, "Rama, should you really leave today? It's already evening, so I don't think you should leave in the evening time. Maybe you can stay back in the night here. One more night, you stay back with us so that we can serve you for one more night. Me and your mother, both of us, we will be devastated if you leave. So we'll get one more day with you. Why don't you stay back with us?" So at that, Lord Ramachandra, he said, "Look, father, I cannot budge even for a minute. The minute Mother Kaikeyi said, "Your time starts now, you have to leave," I had to leave. So it is not fair if I stay back for the night. So you have already given boons to Kaikeyi, and let those boons be fulfilled properly. You be a truthful man, and let me be a faithful son. So I will leave to the forest. And don't worry, I will be very happy in the forest. I will be eating tubers and roots and fruits, and I'll be happy. It's not that I am after the enjoyments of this kingdom. I have to leave and let Bharata enjoy this kingdom." So Dasharath, he held on very tightly to the hands of Lord Rama, and again he fainted and he started crying. Then all the queens started crying. After Dasharath began to cry, all the queens, they were wailing and they were crying except one. And that one was obviously Kaikeyi. Except Kaikeyi, everyone else was wailing and crying. And even Sumantra, who was present there, who's the charioteer and minister, he also fainted and he fell down while weeping. And everybody was lamenting very, very loudly in the palace. Then, after a few minutes, Sumantra, who's the charioteer, he regained some consciousness and he was shaking his head in disapproval and he was sighing again and again. He was rubbing his hands in anger and he was grinding his teeth. His eyes became red in anger and he was filled with wrath and venting out his grief, looking at Dasharath's face because he could understand Dasharath did not like what was happening. Understanding the heart of his master, he started speaking to Kaikeyi like as if shooting arrows at all her vital points. So Sumantara, he exploded at this point in time. He said, "Kaikeyi, your husband Dasharath is unconquerable. He is as great as Indra. He's unshakable like the mountain, but you are tormenting him with your actions. In fact, you are like a murderess of your husband, and you will exterminate your entire race. Let your son Bharata, let him become the king. And wherever Ram is going, we all will follow him. Nobody will stay here. None of us are going to stay here. No Brahmana will live in this kingdom after Ram leaves. If Dharma is not here, which Brahmin will stay here? Everybody will leave the kingdom and let this kingdom be deserted. And you and your son, you stay in this kingdom happily. And he said, who will nurture a neem tree cutting down a mango tree with an axe? A neem tree will never give sweet fruits. So only a fool will pour milk at the root of a neem tree, thinking that it will give them sweet mango fruits. Like that, you have been maintained by this Dasharath. You are like a neem tree, and he's been pouring milk and maintaining you, thinking that he will receive something sweet from you. But a neem tree will always give only something that is bitter. And that is what you are. By birth, you are exactly like your mother. There is a proverb that says, honey does not ooze from a neem tree. So, as the mother is, so is the daughter. You're exactly like your mother. So, he then tells the story of Kaikeyi's mother. So, Sumantra says, in the past, we have heard about your mother's conduct. And she was someone who was the cause, who was even ready to kill her husband. Kill her husband meaning let her husband be killed to satisfy her desires. Okay. So he begins to tell the story that once Kaikeyi's father, Kekeya Raja, he had a boon from a sage. A sage had given him a boon that this king would be able to understand the language of other animals, other species. So once there was an ant, it's called as the Jrimba ant. It's a species, ant species. It's specifically identified as a Jrimba. It came near the bed of Kekeya Raja, and it made some sound. Hearing the sound, Kekeya Raja could understand what the ant was talking. And hearing the language of the ant, what the ant had conveyed, this king started laughing repeatedly. And Kaikeyi's mother was nearby, and she was looking at her husband laughing, and she repeatedly asked her husband, what is the reason? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Tell me. What happened? What did you hear? It appears that you know the language of other animals, and there is an ant nearby. So, what did you hear and what did you understand? Tell me what you heard about from the ant. So, KK Raja said, look, I can't tell you. I have been given this boon to understand the language of other species, but then at the same time, I cannot reveal this. This is Deva Rahasya. I cannot reveal all the secrets of all these animals to you. And also, the sage had told me, if at all I happen to speak what is being told by other species, and if I reveal the contents to other people, then it will be the cause of my death. I will die immediately. So at this time, when this wife heard the words of her husband, she said, you die or you live, I don't care, but I must know what is happening, what that ant said. Don't ridicule me. You just say, I don't care if you live or die, but I must know what happened. So this was her nature. And KK Raja was very shocked. So he went and he told the sage, my wife says whether I live or not, it doesn't matter. I have to reveal to her what the ant said. So what should I do? Should I really reveal to her? Will I really die if I reveal to her? And the sage said, please get rid of your wife. She's really, really terrible. You will definitely die. You will definitely die if you speak one word that is a secret. That is a secret of the other living entities. So then finally, KK Raja, he stopped associating with his wife. So that is the story of Kaikeyi's mother. So here Sumantara says, you're exactly like your mother, because your mother was ready to even kill her husband, knowing very well that if he revealed the secret, his life would go. Similarly, knowing very well that your husband cannot live without Ramachandra, you are ready to kill your own husband. So you're exactly confirming to the traits of your mother. So saying this, Sumantra, he folds his palms and he started begging her to listen to her husband's desire and allow Ram to rule the kingdom of Ayodhya so that all the people can be benefited. So he started begging her over and over, and still Kaikeyi's heart just not changed. She didn't repent. There was no change in her face, and she did not even react to all these words of Sumantra. And seeing that she was not ready to let go of Dasharath, he began to sigh again, and he took a different step. So this time he twisted things, Dasharath, and he said, "Okay, let all the military forces be assembled, get all the wealth from the treasury, get all the weapons, all the chief, all the guards, police, vehicles, hunters, everybody, ministers, let's all go with Ram, along with all the soldiers, along with all the treasury. Take out all the food from all the granary, all the stocks of piles of food. Let everybody carry that granary and let's all go. Let's all go to the forest with Rama and let Bharata rule Ayodhya. We have no problems, and let Kaikeyi also live here." So immediately Kaikeyi, she objected. She said, "What? You want to send away all the objects of enjoyment to the forest with Rama? No way. Bharata will not rule the kingdom without enjoyment. He will not rule this kingdom without the troops and the people. What are you talking? There is no way Bharat is going to do that. So nobody should leave this place." So then Dasharath, he felt defeated every second. He said, "You're such a hostile woman. As it is, I'm carrying a burden that Ram is going to the forest and you're pricking me. Imagine when you're carrying a big burden and somebody comes and they prick you on the back. How would you feel?" So Dasharath is saying, "I'm feeling like that. You are such a torture. So he says that to Kaikeyi. And at that time, Kaikeyi says, "What is your problem? Why can't you just send that Ram to the forest? Don't you know one of your ancestors, Sagara Maharaj? He sent his elder son Asamanjas to the forest. So why can't you also follow in his footsteps and send your son to the forest?" So when the minister by the name, there was a minister by the name, I forget, sorry, I didn't write it down, but there was a chief minister. He was hearing this. It is not Sumantara. It is Siddhartha, sorry. It was Siddhartha, if I'm not wrong. So he was listening to all these comments made by Kaikeyi that in the past, one of your ancestors sent Asamanjas to the forest. At that time, this aged chief minister, he came forward and he said, "Kaikeyi, don't speak like that. Asamanjas went to the forest because Sagara Maharaj denounced him because of Asamanjas' bad behavior. Asamanjas would catch hold of small boys and throw them into the water and drown them. So, as a punishment, he was not allowed to stay in the kingdom and he was denounced. He was asked to go to the forest. But what fault is there in Rama? Ram never behaved inappropriately with anybody. Nobody can find a single fault with Ram. So don't compare the two. Don't say that Ram should go to the forest at all. There is no reason why Ram should go to the forest." So he says, "This is very, very unfair. I think you just enjoy the kingdom with Bharat, but we all will just follow Ram and we all are going to go with Ram." So then Dasharath, he started lamenting. He said, "Look, did you hear the words of Siddhartha? What did he tell you? He's also telling you that you should not send Rama to the forest." And Dasharath said, "If at all Ram really has to go to the forest, what is the use of me staying in this kingdom with all this army and attachment? Let me actually go to the forest along with him." Then Ram stops Dasharath and he says, "My dear father, stop talking like this over and over. What is the use of all this? You stay back here. Let me actually go to the forest and let me just give me some. You're talking about giving me army, giving me wealth, giving me the jewels and the food from the granary and so on. I'm going to the forest as banishment. I shouldn't be taking all this with me. So don't talk like this. Instead, what is appropriate for me is you should be giving me a basket to collect some fruits and a shovel so that I can dig some roots. That is what I should be taking to the forest. I shouldn't be taking clothes and jewels and army and the food from the granary and all that. So, and when the minute he said that, shamelessly, Kaikeyi, she went inside and got she got bark for Lord Ram to wear. So she went inside, she procured some, in olden days, they would make clothes out of bark and kusha grass. So you see this picture where Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana are standing. They are wearing this cloth made of barks. It usually has two pieces. One is the lower garment and the other is the upper garment. And a similar garment is also made for women to wear. So these two. Okay, so this cloth made out of bark was actually brought to Rama so that he could wear. So Kaikeyi goes inside and she brings these pieces of cloth, and Sita, who was actually presented this garment, she was completely perplexed. Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana, both of them, they immediately took the garments from Mother Kaikeyi and they wore it. They didn't have a problem. They could understand how to wear it and they wore it. But then Mother Sita, she was completely confused. She was so used to wearing saris and silken clothing, and she was so perplexed. She looked like a deer on seeing a trap. When a deer sees a very complex net or a trap, the deer is very confused. Hey, what is this? Like that. So, like that, Mother Sita, she was completely perplexed when she received this bark garment. And she tried to put it on. She tried to put it on. She took it and she was trying to wrap it around her waist. And again, it would fall off. Again, she would pick it and she would try to wear it, and still she would not succeed. Then she looked at Rama very helplessly. And then Ram took up the garments and he helped her by wearing it over her sari, like you see in this picture. Ram wrapped it around and he showed her how she should tie this bark garment. And while seeing all this, the women who were surrounding those 350 mothers, they all told, hey, what is all this? You have to go to the forest, Rama. You take Lakshman as a companion and you go to the forest. Why should you take Sita? Sita is such a gentle, tender girl. She is not fit to live in the forest like an ascetic woman. She's not for forest life. So she shouldn't be going there. What is happening here? Why is Sita being taken like this, and why does she have to wear these garments? So at that time, Vasishta, he stopped everybody and he told Kaikeyi, listen, actually, don't act like this. Whatever you're doing is extremely wrong. Sita is a princess and she has come to our family. We have to take care of her. Okay, she has been married into the family. We should give her all the respect and we should take care of her. We should not ask her to wear clothes of bark. That is so inappropriate. And the way you are behaving is just so detestable. You have no decorum at all. Actually, let Ram and Lakshman go to the forest and I will make Sita sit on the throne. She is fit to rule the earth. Sita is the other half of Ram. She is as good as Ram and she's completely capable of ruling the earth. These are the words of Vasishta, the great sage, Raj Rishi. He's telling. He was actually Brahma Rishi, Vasishta. We saw, right, in the story of Vishwamitra and Vasishta. So Vasishta said, actually, she is even fit to rule the earth. She alone can sit on the throne and rule the earth. I'm going to make arrangements for that. And you dare not ask Sita to wear these bark garments. And Vasishta says, if Sita is so insistent that she will go with her husband and she will not sit on the throne and she will not stay back in Ayodhya, then we all, the entire Ayodhya, will follow Rama and Sita. Where if a place where Rama is not the king, that place cannot be a proper kingdom. If Ram goes to the forest will become the kingdom. You can jump up and down from earth to heaven, but don't think that Bharat will accept everything you say. These are the words of Vasishta. And he tells, better give excellent jewelry to your daughter-in-law. If your daughter-in-law insists on going with Ram, I say that she should be given proper sari, proper jewels, and she should not be dressed in bark of trees. So like this Vasishta, he immediately prevented everything. He said, no bark for Mother Sita. And then he again warned her, all your boons, everything was targeting Ram only. There was nothing, no boon given related to Sita. So Sita should be decorated daily. She should wear ornaments, and even if she lives in the forest, she should be with full sari and ornaments. That is how she would go. But then, though Sita was listening to all this because she wanted to follow her husband to the dot, Sita, she proceeded to wear the bark following her husband. Though Vasishta was asking so many times that I will make her the queen. If at all she has to go, let her get all the silk saris, let her get all the jewelry, then only she should go. And he was chastising Kaikeyi over and over. But still, Sita, as a perfect follower of her husband, understanding the heart of her husband, knowing that it will be a perfect match for her husband only if she wears barks, she again picked up that barks that was rejected and she tried to wear it so that she could be wearing that similar to her husband. Now, when she took that bark and she started wearing it again, all the mothers, they all exclaimed and they started scolding their husband, Dashrath. They said, fie on you, Dashrath. What is this? Look at this. Our daughter-in-law is again wearing bark and you're just keeping quiet. And at that time, Dashrath, he had a deep sigh and he said, hey, Kaikeyi, Sita should not go like this. This is unfair. You have made robes made of kusha grass and bark. This is not appropriate for her. He says, Sita is the daughter of Janaka. She has come here. We have to take care of her. And I did not give you any promise that I will send Sita to the forest. Sita is going on her own accord. But even though she's going on her own accord, we should ensure that she goes very happily with all her possessions. We should never treat her like this. So like this, Dashrath, he began to cry profusely and he was lamenting and he fell down on the ground. Then Rama, he comes forward and he tries to advise Dashrath. He tells, oh, bestower of boons, meaning he just bestowed so many boons, Dashrath. So Rama calls his father, oh, bestower of boons, I still have one boon to ask you. So all this while, Dashrath gave boons to Kaikeyi. Now Ramachandra goes forward when Dashrath is collapsing like this and he tells, oh, bestower of boons, I have one boon to ask. Can I ask for one more boon? And then Dashrath looks up and then Ramachandra says, please take good care of my aged mother. My mother has a lot of affection for me. And once I leave, there is no guarantee that she'll hold on to her life. She might die out of separation. But it is your duty to take such good care of her that she never has the thought of giving up her life. All these years, she always felt neglected. But hereafter, I have taken this responsibility to listen to your words and go to the forest. As a return gift, I want you to please take very, very good care of me, my mother, give her proper attention and ensure that she takes good care of her health. So this is all I want from you. I want one more boon from you. So like that, he asks his father, and of course his father agrees. And then all the wives, they began to lament, and Dasharath also lamented, and he blamed himself. And he was telling everybody, it looks like I'm a big sinner. I've separated children and parents in the past, or I have killed many people. That's why I'm undergoing this terrible, terrible situation. Then Dasharath, finally, he allowed Ramchandra to proceed. He told Sumantra to bring a good chariot yoked to horses so that Rama can be taken and left at the outskirts. So at this time, when everything was getting ready, when Sumantra was procuring the chariot, Dasharath did not give up on this idea of ensuring that Sita is properly decorated in sari and jewels. Though Sita wanted to wear bark and go, still Dasharath calls back. Okay, he stops and here is the verse. Vasam Sicha Maha Arna Arnahi Bashani Varani Cha Varshani Etani Samkhyaya Vaideha Kshipramanya. So he says, quickly bring for Sita clothes of great worth and ornaments of high quality, and consider all the years that she's going to spend in the forest. 14 years in the forest. Ensure have jewels and proper clothing for 14 years. Go and bring everything from the locker. That's what Dashrath says. So since Dashrath has given this instruction, people ran and they brought the saris and the jewels from their treasury, and they ensured that Sita adorns, the mothers ensured that Sita adorned all the jewelry and the silk saris, and the silk saris were packed and given to her so that she could take all of it during her travel. And finally, Kausalya, while everything was given to Mother Sita, Kausalya, she called her daughter-in-law, she embraced her daughter-in-law, she smelled her daughter-in-law's head, and she began to speak to her daughter-in-law. So she told her daughter-in-law some good advice. She told her daughter-in-law, my dear Sita, there are two kinds of wives, two kinds of women. One set of women, they are very, very immature. They always think only about their welfare. They do not think about their husband so much. If their husband is not able to provide for them properly, they give up on their husbands. That is one set of people. But then there is another class of women who are always satisfied with whatever their husband is providing with them with, and they stay with their husbands. So women established in good conduct, truthfulness, learning, and good mental qualities always respect their husbands. My son, Rama, is now going to go to the forest. You're also going with him. But at no point in time, you should despise him. He will not have any riches. Whatever the situation may be, please do not give up on him. So when Mother Kausalya said this, Sita, she folds her palms and she tells, I will do all that is happy to everybody. You are very venerable to me. You have given me instructions. I will follow these instructions to the point. And I already know this. My parents have told me the same instructions and they have sent me here. So I will already follow it to the point. I know how I should behave with my husband. I've heard about it earlier. And I will never deviate from virtue. Just like how moon is never separated from moonshine, similarly, I will never ever deviate from my dharma. Just like how Veena doesn't resonate without the strings or the chords, or chariot cannot move without the wheels. Similarly, I understand that a wife will never be bereft from her husband. Even if I may have 100 children, still I will not be happy if my husband is not by my side. So she says very, very emphatically these words, and these words touch Kausalya's heart. And Kausalya started shedding tears in affection and happiness and also in agony because she's going to be separated from her son and daughter-in-law. Then Ramachandra, he stepped forward and he told his mother, my dear mother, please don't cry so much. You take good care of my father. The end of the exile will come very, very soon, and I will come back in just 14 years. So please don't worry. Then he looked at all the 350 stepmothers. He looked at all of them, and then he asked for forgiveness. He said, my dear mothers, please forgive me if at all I made any mistakes at your lotus feet. The minute he said that, all of them started crying and wailing, hearing these words from Lord Ramachandra. Then Rama, Sita, and Lakshman, they folded their palms and they circumambulated the king and their mothers, and they were ready to depart. But while Sita, Ram, and Lakshman, the three of them went and paid their respects to Mother Kausalya, after this, Lakshman went to meet his mother Sumitra. Specifically, he wanted to talk to his mother Sumitra. Sumitra called her son forward and she smelled his head, she embraced him and she blessed him. And she said, You have taken a very right decision. Now, here are the glorious qualities of Mother Sumitra. She, as much as Kausalya is going to be separated from her son Rama, Sumitra is also going to be separated from her son Lakshmana. But then, when Lakshman went towards Sumitra to take her blessings, at that time, Sumitra, she spoke such beautiful words. She said, "My dear child, you are going to the forest. I'm very, very happy because you're going to the forest to do great service to your brother. Go, Gacha, Gacha Putra, go. Go and serve your brother very, very nicely." She did not resist. She did not cry. She did not protest. She did not do any of this. She said, "My child, please go and return successfully." But she gave him an instruction. She said, "Ramam Dasharatham Vitti Mam Vitti Janakatmajam Ayodhyam Atavim Vitti Gachatata Yatha Sukham." Very famous verse of the Ramayana. Some of the verses spoken by Sumitra are considered highly celebrated, about Sumitra and Shatrughna especially, very highly celebrated in the Valmiki Ramayana. So this particular verse has been commented heavily by all our acharyas in multiple ways. So we'll analyze the 5 different meanings of this one verse, one sentence spoken by Mother Sumitra. She said, "Ramam Dhasharatham Vitti." Know Rama to be the same as Dhasharath. First instruction. Vaidehim, Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi, Mam Vitti Janakatmaja. Think upon Sita as being me. Janakatmaja, who's Sita. Think that Sita is me. Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. Think that the forest is Ayodhya. Atavi means forest. Ayodhya is Ayodhya. So, Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. Gachatata. Oh, go child. Yatha Sukham. Go happily. Because don't think you will be missing Dasharath because Dasharath is there as Rama. Don't think you'll be missing me because I am there as Sita. And don't think you'll be missing Ayodhya because Ayodhya is the forest and you will be happy with all the 3. So the 5 meanings, I will go through all of this. The first one is in the understanding in the light of bhakti. When you apply the science of bhakti to this verse, it means that this Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi means the law, one should understand that the Lord is the only maintainer. Here, Dasharath was the father and he was the maintainer for Lakshmana, right? He was taking care. But we should understand that the Lord is our ultimate father and maintainer. So the Lord here is Lord Ramachandra, and Lakshman should see Lord Ramachandra as his ultimate father. The mother is Mother Lakshmi for all living entities. So Lakshman should understand Sita is non-different than Lakshmi and she is my only mother. Sumitra is not my mother, rather Sita is my mother. And one should understand that wherever the Supreme Lord is, that is where the Dham is. So Ayodhya is not the Dham, but whereas where the Supreme Lord and his consort are, that is the ultimate dham. So the forest is the dham for such a devotee. So the first meaning is that Rama and Sita are the Supreme Lord and the Goddess of Fortune. In the light of bhakti, wherever the Lord and his consort are, that becomes the dham. So Lakshman is going with Sita and Ram to the dham. Okay, that is the first understanding. The second understanding is that the elder brother is like a father. Okay. So when Sumitra says Ramam Dhasharatham Vidhi, that means Sumitra is telling that now you're not going to stay with your father, but your elder brother will take the role of a father. And similarly, the elder sister-in-law is always like a mother to her younger brother-in-law, brothers-in-law. So your mother in my absence is Sita because she is your sister-in-law. And wherever your brother and sister-in-law are there, that is your Ayodhya. So you have to go to the forest and consider it to be the ultimate Ayodhya. The third light in which they comment is in a practical way. See, Sumitra is telling very soon Dasharath will die. Once Dasharath is gone, then who is your father? Obviously, it is Lord Ram. And if Dasharath dies, eventually I will also die. When I am not there, who is your mother? It is Sita. So consider Rama and Sita as your parents and go with your parents, and that place is Ayodhya. The fourth meaning, she is actually predicting the future. And she's a very wise woman. She was considered as from the beginning of Balakanda, we are saying that she's extremely wise. So the fourth meaning is that Sumitra is predicting the future. She's telling Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Rama is also going to be just like Dasharath. What did Dasharath do? Dasharath, he listened to the words of his wife and he asked you to go. Similarly, Ramachandra will also listen to the words of his wife and he will run behind a deer. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja. This means just like how I am telling you, go to the forest, go with your brother, go protecting your brother. Similarly, Sita Devi also, once Ram runs behind the deer, Sita Devi will also tell, go behind Ram, don't leave him, go behind Ram. And you will walk with Ram all the way, even up till the end of the ocean. Meaning, like, not only will you be in the forest, you'll walk through all the cities and go till the end of the ocean and even go to Lanka. So this is the fourth meaning. That Rama will listen to his wife, just like how Dashrath listened to his wife, and just like how I am telling you, go, 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 even Sita will tell, go, 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 and you'll go all the way with him through all the forests and villages or till the end of the ocean. The fifth, she predicts the coronation. That is, she says that in the future, Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. Dasharath will not be there. So Rama will take the post of Dasharath, meaning he will sit on the throne and he will become the king. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja. Just like how I am the queen in the future, Sita Devi will also become the queen. And Ayodhyam Atavim Vidhi. All the forests will become Ayodhya and Ramarajya. There will be no question of forest. Everything will be as good as Ayodhya when Lord Ramchandra is ruling. And the final meaning is the sixth meaning, wherein Sumitra says, even the reverse is true. She says, here the verse is Ramam Dasharatham Vidhi. But she is telling Dasharatham Ramam Vidhi. Think of Dasharatha like Rama. You have love for Rama. Similarly, please have love for Dasharath also. Don't hate him. Don't hate him just because he told you to go to the forest. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja. She reverses it and she says, Janakatmajam Mam Vidhi. Just because I am telling you, go, 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 don't hate me also. Like that, she says. And she says at the same time, please don't hate Ayodhya also. Ayodhya Matamim Vidhi, Atavim Ayodhyam Vidhi, she says. Just because Ayodhya has done such a big injustice to you and Rama, please don't hate Ayodhya, because in the future, the same Ayodhya will be embraced by Ramachandra and Ramachandra will rule it. So please don't have any hatred for Ayodhya. So these are the 6 meanings given by our Acharyas for this one sentence spoken by Sumitra. Then Sumantra came forward. He got the chariot ready and he said, my dear son, please mount the chariot and we will take you speedily to the other side of the city. And the chariot came forward. All of them ascended the chariot, the 3 of them, Rama, Lakshmana, and even Sita. They ascended the chariot and the chariot started moving. So while the chariot was moving, all the animals who were around, they were filled with flurry. All the animals were screeching and making noises because they couldn't believe that Rama was going to leave Ayodhya. They could sense that. Animals also have the 6th sense, right? So they could sense that something is wrong. Ramachandra is leaving and going away. The citizens, they came out in throngs and throngs and they were screaming and they were trying to slow the chariot. They were telling, stop, stop, stop. We want to see Rama's face. Please don't take Ram away from us. Very similar to how when Krishna is taken away by Akrura to Mathura, just like how all the gopis went running and they said, please stop. We'll even fall in front of the chariot. You can trample over us and go. We will not let Krishna go. Like that, all the citizens, they screamed and they came out running and they tried to stop the chariot. And they were all telling, oh, let us at least see Ram's face. You're just taking him away like that. And some others were commenting, how come Kausalya's heart is not even shattered yet? How is she able to bear this separation? And some others were glorifying Sita. They were telling she's the perfect wife. She's following Rama just like his shadow, just like how Mount Meru never leaves the effulgence of the sun. This was interesting to me because whole of last week we was doing cosmology classes. And there we were seeing how Mount Meru always gets sunlight. There is no day and night on top of Mount Meru. It's always full of effulgence, Mount Meru. So like that, the analogy comes here in Valmiki Ramayana that Sita follows Rama wherever he goes, just like how Mount Meru does not leave the effulgence of the sun. And others, there were others, some of them were glorifying Mother Sita, some of them were telling how come Kausalya's heart is not shattered, and some others were also glorifying Lakshmana. They were telling what a perfect brother Lakshmana is. He speaks so affectionately towards his brother. He always accompanies his brother. He's a man of words, an accomplisher of purpose. He's the perfect brother. Everybody was glorifying Lakshmana. So when Ramchandra was seeing that people were running towards him, unfortunately, he had to tell Sumantra to move the chariot faster because he didn't want people following him all the way. But people were crying and wailing and Dasharath fainted. Some people were screaming out, oh Rama, and the ladies, they were all screaming, oh Kausalya, Kausalya, your son is going. And looking back, Ram was seeing all these people running, falling down, wailing, and trying to follow him on the road. And this went on, and seeing all this terrible size of separation, Rama, he told Sumantra, please move the chariot to go faster. He said, let just go fast so that, these people don't follow us. And Rama's mother was running. She was running like a cow running behind her calf. And Dashrath was crying, stop, stop. And all the ministers were restricting Dashrath. They were telling him, Dashrath, you cannot follow Ram so long. If you follow a person who's leaving for too long, then there is an understanding that that person may not come for long. So you should go only a short distance and say bye-bye so that that person comes back fast. Like that, the ministers were advising. The entire Ayodhya was crying and they were all lamenting. They were telling, oh, has Ram left us today? And the people stopped performing the sacred sacrifices. There are 5 yajnas a grahastha performs in their house. So none of them were performing sacrifices in the yajnas. And it appeared that the sun was eclipsed. The animals in the kingdom stopped eating. The stars lost their shine. The grahas appeared very menacing, very, very violent. All the grahas were Mars, Jupiter, Venus, everything was looking very violent. The wind was not blowing coolly. It was very hot winds. Moon did not appear to be beneficial. The sun did not give out proper warmth. The entire world was in disorder. Everything was abnormal. People were in great distress. There was no happiness in anyone's face. And in fact, it went on to an extent where everybody's mind was going behind Ram, that mothers did not ask about their children, wives did not talk about their husbands, husbands did not ask for the well-being of their wives, brothers did not inquire about sisters. It appeared that everybody gave up all relationships and their hearts just went with Ramachandra. And while the dust was raised by the wheels of the chariot and the chariot went away far, Dasharath lost his vision of the chariot and he could not control himself, and he fell down on the ground helplessly. So like this, when Dasharath fell down, Kausalya and Kaikeyi, they came running and they tried to pick up Dasharath from both sides. So on one side, Kaikeyi was on the left-hand side of Dasharath and Kausalya was on the right-hand side, and they tried to lift up Dasharath. So at that time, Dasharath just pushed away Kaikeyi and he told her, "Don't touch my limbs. I don't wish to see you. You are no longer my wife. You're not my relative. And I had entered a contract with you as a wife in front of Agni, circumambulating fire. I took vows to be with you, but now I renounce this, Kaikeyi, I renounce this world, and the next, I don't want to be your husband anymore." And then he says, even if Bharata gives his final oblations to me, I don't want those oblations to reach me. So like this, he began to lament heavily how Rama and Sita, who are so accustomed to living in the palace, are now going to be in the forest. And he told Kaikeyi, "Let all your desires be fulfilled. You live in this kingdom. I will not even survive. I will die. And I will think about Ram and I will give up my life, and you be all alone in this kingdom with your son Bharat." So then Dasharath, he looked at his attendants. He just shooed away Kaikeyi. He looked at his attendants and he told them, "Please take me to Kausalya's apartment. I want to go and stay with her for some time." He goes into the house of Kausalya and he tells, "Oh Kausalya, oh Devi, my sight has been extinguished along with Ram. My eyesight went away with Lord Ram. I'm not able to see anything properly. My eyes are filled with tears and my sight is only seeing only Ram. I can't see where anything is." And he tries to stretch out his hand to touch and see where Kausalya is. And he says, "I'm not able to see you properly. Please touch me with your hand. I want to talk to you." And then Kausalya, she began lamenting and she was telling Dasharath, "I really wish Ram had stayed here. Why did he have to go to the forest? This envious Kaikeyi, she's like a serpent. Now she will be enjoying here very nicely, but my child, he will be suffering in the forest. And I am like a cow bereft of her calf, just like how a tiger comes and takes away the calf. I am like that. She is like the tiger. She has sent my little calf to the forest. When will I again see Sita, Ram, Lakshman return? When will I see them moving around in Ayodhya happily? When will I see the citizens welcoming Sita, Ram, Lakshman back to Ayodhya? And when will the entire Ayodhya spring back to happiness?" Now, when she was lamenting like this, Sumitra, she comes forward to console Kausalya with very, very wise words. So these are the wise words of Sumitra again. Anyone wants to read? Tava arye sada gunai. Anyone?
I can read, Mataji. Tav arye sada gunai yukta putra sa purushottama kinte vilpite nevam kripanam rudinte nava.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, Mother Sumitra, she says, "Oh, that son of yours, that Rama, he's endowed with very good character, with full of dharma. He's the best among all men. Why are you lamenting? Why are you weeping like this so piteously? Where is the need for you to cry? He's sticking to dharma. He's the best of all men. He's got mighty strength. He has proved himself to be wonderful. He has even renounced the throne. Who can be like him? Be proud of him. He stood very firmly in righteousness. He stood by dharma in every single situation. And such qualities are very rare to find. You should be happy about your son. See, your son decided to follow all the rules of dharma. He is very, very capable of protecting himself. He is the best of all men. When you have given birth to such a great personality, why are you crying? There is nothing for you to lament. Please don't cry like this." Then she not only glorifies Ramachandra, she also glorifies Lakshmana in a neutral light. Not just because Lakshmana is her son, but she glorifies him in his nature of doing service. She says, "Vartate cha uttamam bhaktim lakshmano asmin sadhanaga dayavan sarva bhuteshu labhatasya mahatmana. Lakshmana, he's faultless, he's so compassionate. He always wants to render best service to his brother Ram. His conduct is so perfect, he's always behind virtuous Ram. So why are you lamenting? Lakshmana has gone with Ram. Ram has stuck to the policies of Dharma. He's not done a single mistake. He's upheld great character. Should be happy. You should be happy about Rama. You should also be happy for what Lakshman is doing. Thirdly, she also glorifies Sita. Aranyavase sada dukvakam janati vai sukha atita अनुगच्छति वै देहि धर्म आत्मावं tava atmajam. Sita, I'll read that again. Anugachati vai dehi dharma atmavan tava atmajam. Sita, who was habituated to comforts even after knowing what pain is there in the forest, still she has accompanied your son. So you have three glorious children. You have Rama, you have Lakshmana, you have Sita. All of them are glorious. They are standing by great character. You should be proud of them. You shouldn't be crying and lamenting at this point in time. You should stand as a proud lady. I have such three gems. And not only that, now Sumitra, after glorifying them, she also tells how they will be safe. Okay. So she says, the sun, the wind, the moon will all be favorable to Rama because he is Dharmatma. He's following Dharma to the point. So nobody will be unfavorable to him. The sun god, the wind god, the moon god, everybody will bless him. How can the entire earth not listen to the command of Ram? Ram is protecting this entire world. So the earth itself will be under the control of Ram. Earlier, when Ram killed Subahu, you remember that Subahu Maricha episode? So Sumitra is reminding Kausalya, she's telling, earlier when Ram killed Subahu, who's the son of Shambarasura, at that time Brahma was very, very happy and Brahma gave many celestial weapons. Those celestial weapons will protect Ram wherever he is. Ram is a great wielder of weapons. Why do you worry? Very soon he will be enthroned as the king. It's just 14 years. Not only that, Ram has not gone alone. Yes, he has gone with Lakshman. Lakshman is doing great service to him. And who is the one who's accompanying Ram all the time? It is Sita. Who is Sita? Sita is Lakshmi Devi himself. What is difficult for Ram to obtain when Mother Lakshmi is with him? Right? Wherever there is goddess of fortune, obviously fortune will be there. Doesn't matter whether he is in the city or he is in the forest. Not only that, he is also accompanied by Lakshmana, who is Lakshmi Sampannaha, who has got the Kaikarya Lakshmi with him. So Ram is protected by both Mother Lakshmi and Lakshmana. So don't worry, everything will be fine. 14 years will pass by. And I very clearly see that they're going to come back and Ramachandra will be our king. Have faith in my words. Don't have this grief. Ram cannot have bad luck at all. Everything is for a reason. You will be able to see your son along with Sita coming back with Lakshmana. Oh, faultless queen, actually, you should be consoling the people around you. You are a queen. You have so much responsibility. You, with your dignity, you should be able to take care of people around you. There's so many people lamenting around us. We should take the responsibility and go and console them. Can we break our hearts and sit like this at this time? So she encourages Kausalya in various ways. She says, don't have so much grief in your heart. I am 100% sure Rama is going to come back. He's going to sit on the throne. It is just a temporary phase. So hearing these very wise words of Sumitra, who's the mother of Lakshman, all the agony of Kausalya actually melted away. Just like how an autumn cloud, sometimes autumn clouds are there are some clouds that have very less water. Very quickly, there is a drizzle and it vanishes. So like that, like an autumn cloud, all the grief that was there in the heart of Kausalya melted away with these wise words of Sumitra. Then, while the chariot was moving, this was happening, the chariot was going, Kausalya was getting consoled. And while the chariot was moving, some of the people, they managed to chase the chariot and go along with the chariot. And looking at those people, Ramachandra told them to return. He said, no, please go. Please go back to the kingdom of Ayodhya. You should not come with me to the forest. He says Bharata has actually matured in knowledge, though he is young in age. He's got very good qualities. He'll be a worthy master. He'll be a great king. He will dispel all your fears. And also, it is the king's command that you all should stay back in Ayodhya under the care of Bharata. So you please allow me to go. But their love for Rama was so high that even Brahmanas were going behind Rama. Groups of Brahmins chanting the Vedas, they were just following Ramachandra with their fire sacrifices. You know, they had their Agni lit and they were carrying pieces of wood and they were just going behind saying that we will perform our sacrifice wherever you go. We will just follow you. So like that, communities of Brahmanas were following, bearing sacred fires on their shoulders. They said, we will come and we'll hold, you know, we have this canopy that we hold during the Vajpaya Yajna. There is a canopy kind of a thing they hold you when the Yajnas perform. They said, what is the use of this canopy just, you know, within your absence? We will hold this canopy and give you protection in the forest. We are Brahmanas. We will do our Yajnas in the forest. We will just stay with you. So the Brahmanas said, see, our intellect is sharpened by studying Vedas. And our intelligence is telling us after studying all these Vedas, we should be following only you. Of course, what is Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham, right? Krishna says, I am the essence of all the Vedas. From the Vedas, I am to be known. So they're telling what is the use of studying all these Vedas? But the more we study these Vedas, the more our intelligence tells us we just have to follow you. So we are just going to come behind you. So like this, Ramachandra, he didn't know how to talk to the Brahmanas. He was seeing that these Brahmins were continuously walking behind him, and out of respect, he got down from the chariot and he started walking. He didn't walk towards the Brahmins, he walked away, but still out of respect, he couldn't, you know, control himself. He was thinking, I'm riding the chariot and Brahmanas are walking behind me. So he gets down from the chariot and he walks, but he resists from looking back because he knows if he looks back, his heart will melt. So taken by the force of his, duty to enter the forest, he walks further towards the forest, but the Brahmanas, they were continuously following him, and Lord Ramachandra was persuading them to return. And then finally, they reached the banks of the river Tamasa, and that is when Sumantra also releases the horses. Ramachandra tells Sumantra, please let the horses go and have some water. And everybody get down and they take a halt at the banks of the river Tamasa. So we will stop here. And because it's exactly 8 o'clock, we'll stop here and we will take a few questions. And then what happens in the banks of the river Tamasa and how they elude, how they trick the people in Ayodhya and they move on to the forest is something we will see next week. Okay. So I'll end here. Vancha kalpatarudhascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Sorry, I had so many people and calls today, so I was getting distracted. But if there are any questions, please let me know.
Yeah, such a wonderful class, man. So much love of Ayodhya Vasis. I was just reflecting on the love that they have for Lord Ram and how they're walking behind. And you narrating really make us envision that how Lord Ram is there and he's on the chariot and all the Ayodhya Vasis are following. Thank you, Mataji. Very, very beautiful session. Wonderful. Wonderful narration, I should say. I don't have any question, but Himangi Gopeshwari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, beautiful, beautiful class. It's just like I didn't want it to stop at all. It was beautiful. So I just have, I mean, as a child, I've heard that Shravan Kumar was killed by Dashratha, and he was cursed by the parents of Shravan Kumar that you will or be separated from your child. Is that something true?
Yeah, it'll come up next class.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, thank you so much.
That story will come up next class. Yes.
Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Preethi Mataji. I had no question. I just wanted to tell how beautifully you narrated, especially the part when you were saying that about them wearing the bark and, Kaikeyi coming and giving that. It's so painful, isn't it? Just to, if somebody's, some guests come in and they are leaving, you just grab an extra fruit for them. You just grab the extra item at home and you just don't want to send them off, right? And here she's taking away what Ram had. And when he says, I'm going there, it was so painful to hear when you said, I'm going for the austerities and I cannot take anything with me. It's so very painful. And the way you narrated, it really touched my heart, Mataji. I was just relating how we are in this age that, somebody, even somebody you don't like comes to your house, you want to give them something when they are leaving, right? You don't feel like sending them empty handed. And Ram saying, I'm going there to take that, take that austerity. So I cannot take anything with me. I have to go through this, whatever the forest has in store for me, I have to go through it when he says. It just touched my heart, Mataji. Thank you. Your narration, your voice modulation, everything was so perfect. We actually saw it in front of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sindhu Mataji, for that encouraging words. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Parima Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Again, a very, very wonderful class. It was so interesting. And especially the characters like Mother Sita and above all Mother Sumitra. In this moment of grief, I mean, what kind of woman was she that she was so composed? She let her son go. It's something that's so difficult. I mean, I cannot even imagine that she could do this. And she was so full of wisdom. And it's like very, very, very inspiring. And Mataji, I had just come across this one version. I don't know how far, how much true that is. That Rama and Kaushalya had that, not Kaushalya, sorry, Kaikeyi had that, what during this 14 years if Rama has a son and if he comes and claims the kingdom. So she had even asked that, they should observe celibacy. I don't know if this is true.
I don't know, Mataji.
I don't know. I'd come across this version that, that even during this 14 years that Bharata will rule, what if Ram has a son and he will claim the throne? I don't know. Some version. I just
Maybe.
yeah. So
Maybe.
I don't.
Anyhow, they didn't have children during the forest time.
But is it that they are supposed to observe celibacy during the forest time? Is this is it in the scriptures, or is there a Vedic rule that if you're in exile, you're supposed to, not have any offspring?
I don't know, Mataji. Maybe,
Okay,
maybe not. I don't know. I have no-
okay, Mataji. Yeah, that's okay, Mataji. I was just thinking. Thank you so much
Maybe.
for what?
I said maybe. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you very much. Danvat pranams to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preethi, Vilasini, Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Very, very wonderful session, Mataji. It's a very, very difficult and a sad portion of the Ramayana, but how wonderfully, I really loved her, Sumitra Devi's character, and even Mother Sita's, how she just wants to do whatever they are doing, whatever Rama is doing, she just wants to follow it as is. So, thank you so much for this beautiful narration. It was wonderful, Mataji. I loved how you elaborated on the 6 different explanations of that one verse by Sumitra Devi. So,
Yeah, even my two favorite characters, Sumitra and Sita. Yes. So what wonderful women they are, right? Very inspiring, very inspiring.
Yes. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Anyone else has any questions, any reflections? Okay, Mataji, we'll let you go. Finally.
I don't know why today so many disturbances, like
No, that's okay.
calls or something. I don't know what happened today.
You have
Yeah,
rest.
but
That's okay. No worries.
yeah.
No worries, Mataji. No disturbances at all. We were totally lost in your session. And it was excellent session as usual.
Thank
Okay,
you.
dear devotees, thank you all so much for your presence. And thank you, Mataji, for all your effort, your time. I could feel that some part of the narrations when you were narrating, even your voice was getting choked up. So
It was not definitely
at
choked
least
by
you were engrossed in the session because of which that emotion was rubbed on us. Thank you so much. Okay, dear devotees. So we'll see you all next Monday. Thank you so much. Let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava
Vaishnav ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai.
jai.
Hare Katha ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Vilasini Mataji ki jai.
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 Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you,
Thank
Krishna.
you all.
Mataji.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Hare
Mata.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, dear devotees, I'm